Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down the best animated choreographies inspired by real-life live-action performances. Number 10. Hula Betty, Betty Boop's Bamboo Isle. This Betty Boop cartoon opens with a live-action sequence of a woman hula dancing, while a band of men plays behind her. That group is the Royal Samoans, known for bringing Polynesian music to a wider audience. The dancer, Lotamuru, often toured with them and inspired a later sequence in this short, where her movements were reflected onto Betty Boop using rotoscoping, an animation technique where artists go over live-action footage, tracing it frame by frame to make the movements look realistic. Sure, the short isn't without its problems, but it's great to see such an important piece of Polynesian culture live on through one of the most iconic cartoons of the 20th century. Number 9. Many dance sequences. Ballerina, aka Leap. This movie follows a girl who dreams of becoming a famous dancer in Paris, and against all odds, earns a spot at the prestigious opera ballet school.
You're not a dancer, are you?
Yes, I am.
Who would have thought? Return to your class.
Okay.
Authenticity was key to the creators, from the historical context to how the dancers moved. Naturally, a character with such big dreams would be inspired by some of the Paris Opera Ballet's most renowned names.
Every harmony needs to have your body vibrating from the end of your hair to the tips of your toes. And then, and only then, will you take her down.
Animators studied two danseurs à toile, Aurélie Dupont and Jérémy Bellinger, and applied keyframe animation, a technique where the main frames are created and the in-between frames smooth out the movement. Dupont even served as an unofficial choreographer. With such incredible inspiration, spoiler alert, it's no surprise Félicie lands her dream role. Number 8. The Dance Fight, Puss in Boots. Bringing dance to life through animation is such a fascinating art that really pushes beyond what humans can do.
The animation, they can do anything.
We came up with the litter box and the scroot and all these funny cat moves.
The animators have taken it to crazy levels.
In Puss in Boots, choreographer Laura Gorenstein-Miller partnered with director Chris Miller to whip up some super engaging choreography that combines playful cat movements with a dash of humor. One of the highlights is the cat fight scene, where dancer Mizuho Sato helps bring some fiery flamenco to the routine.
So what I would do is take the storyboards into the studio with the music and shot by shot choreograph it with my dancers. Then I would film it and I would take it back to the animators.
The sequence begins as a hand-drawn storyboard, but Miller makes those sketches jump off the page in the dance studio with her choreography. She films the routine and sends it over to the animators, who animate her moves in every sense of the word. Number 7. Eye to Eye, a Goofy movie. If you grew up during the Goofy movie era, chances are you can bust out the Eye to Eye choreography without missing a beat. Again, it all started with storyboards that a choreographer turned into reference films for the animators.
And like there's a concert in the film, and there are songs in the concert. There's a character named Powerline in the movie, who's a rock star, that Max, it's his hero. He listens to his music. So we had to go and create original music that would service the story, that would feel like a contemporary rock hit.
This helped keep the dance natural and fitting, especially for Powerline's smooth moves compared to Max and Goofy's wild energy. The creators had big names like Michael Jackson and Paula Abdul in mind for the style. With real dancers bringing it to life, they were able to bring in their recognizable swagger while staying true to moves that feel right to the characters. And you can totally see it in every step. Number 6. The Silly Song, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Disney has always been a trailblazer in animation, so it's no surprise they also used rotoscoping to make their characters come alive.
They hired Marge to come in and wear a costume like Snow White and do all the things that Snow White did to get an idea of how her movements should actually look.
They wanted the animators to see the subtleties that might be in the performance, that then they could transfer to their animation.
Walt Disney really pushed his animators to study real-life movements, paying attention to every little detail down to the smallest nuances, like how clothes flow with the body. A great example of this is in The Silly Song, where they first mapped out the dance with real people before animating it. This approach makes the scene feel lively and natural, capturing the fun energy of the dance perfectly.
Live-action reference became a very vital part of the animation process because the animators could be inspired as they were shaping their characters.
They used this technique in Sleeping Beauty too, which helped create some of Aurora's most graceful and unforgettable moves.
I had a young woman do some live-action reference for me. Her name was Helene Stanley. She did the dances and this sort of thing, which you could do on your own, but that's doing it the hard way.
Number 5. Dance of the Hours, Fantasia. This is a love letter to ballet wrapped up in some brilliant comedy. To pull it off, Disney's animators again studied real dancers, like Russian ballerina Irina Baranova, to capture authentic movement. Even George Balanchine's water nymph ballet in Goldwyn Follies helped shape the choreography. Although Balanchine wasn't technically onboarded as a choreographer, he actually stopped by the studio during production. Each animal's movements are carefully crafted, with different critters showing off unique styles that add to the visual gags. Disney wanted the ballet to be performed seriously, letting the humor shine through the contrast. The final result is not only technically magnificent, but also a beautiful tribute to classical dance. Number 4. Mumbles dances, Happy Feet. Happy Feet takes inspiration to the next level.
Dance is a form of communication. Instead of voice, painting, or sculpture to express ideas and emotions, dancers use their hands, their bodies, and especially their feet.
Most animated dance scenes are based on real dancers, but here, the dancer had to become the penguin. Savion Glover, one of the greatest tap dancers ever, didn't just inspire Mumbles' moves, but he was Mumbles' moves. Director George Miller had a vision and believed that only Glover could truly embody the essence of this dancing penguin. To achieve this, Glover took a deep dive into the world of penguins, studying how they hold themselves.
I just kind of go...
Oh, yeah. Nice.
And then this.
He then blended that with his own suave style. Finally, he donned a motion capture suit and gave us the choreo that would become Mumbles' signature style throughout the movie. Number 3, one of a kind, Vivo.
Calvin Hodge and his choreography team, when they were designing the choreography, he designed the entire songs through all the dancers and through the legs and all of that stuff to be played in one shot. And that would have been dancers sort of representing what could be Vivo's dance moves.
DreamWorks initially pitched this movie about his singing kinkajou to Lin-Manuel Miranda after his hit musical In the Heights. Though they ultimately dropped it, Sony picked it up, reuniting some of the In the Heights team to write the story and songs. You can definitely feel that vibe in both the music and choreography, especially in the opening number. Choreographer Calvin Hodge assembled a team of dancers to map out everyone's movements, from the titular kinkajou to anyone passing through the shot.
And then the background dancers coming in and out of the scene. We shot live action footage and reference to a lot of these dance moves throughout for even the background characters.
Every single character had carefully planned steps, with hints of hip-hop and Latin dance throughout, that helped bring the lively Havana setting to life.
You and I, we are one of a kind. Keep in time. Keep in time. Right on time. Right on time.
Number 2, Hey Mele no Lilo, Lilo and Stitch. With much of the story set in Hawaii, Disney used this opportunity to pay respect to the state's indigenous Polynesian culture. One way they did this was by studying the moves of actual hula dancers and incorporating them into the movie.
And they were looking for something, a certain type of move and stuff, so we choreographed it to give them what they were looking for, this type of spins and things, to make it look a little bit more aesthetically pleasing, I guess.
Hula dancing is such an important tradition in Hawaii, so the creators wanted it to look as real as possible, making sure anyone well acquainted with the style would appreciate its authenticity. The team spent a day with a hula dance troupe, filming their movements and explaining to their animators the importance of getting every little detail right.
We let them know that you watch that video very, very carefully, and anything you see, you put on the paper. If there's a hand movement, a head movement, if they looked a certain way, you put that on paper.
It's a beautiful sequence and a true homage to Hawaii's culture.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. We don't talk about Bruno, Encanto. One thing we have seen in recent years with Disney is that they truly understand the power of movement to tell a story. This was also true in Encanto, where movement played an integral role in the storytelling while celebrating the family's heritage. A prime example is We Don't Talk About Bruno.
It's a heavy lift with a gift so humbling. Always left Abuela in the family fumbling, grappling with prophecies they couldn't understand. Do you understand?
Choreographer Jamal Sims explains that many of the moves were created during vibe sessions with dancers and blended different Latin dance styles.
I created a skeleton crew that we had of Latinx dancers that were that came on board, and we would get into the room and we would just start vibing, and the choreography started to come together.
Once again, the process begins with storyboards for context. Then choreographers delve into the character traits to create movements that are true to them. Once filmed, animators add final touches to ensure a seamless flow. The Madrigals may avoid talking about Bruno, but we can't stop talking about this dance. How do you think the animations compare to their live-action counterparts? Let us know in the comments.
You remember the steps?
I remember.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is fun.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.